How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about Cory Booker officially announcing that he's going to run for the president in 2020. He has zero chance, and we'll talk about him anyway. Cory Booker, if you didn't know, is a current senator from New Jersey, serving alongside Bob Menendez. He was a former mayor of Newark, New Jersey, from, I think, 2006 to 2012, 2013, right around the time where he became the senator of New Jersey. Now, while he was in Newark, nothing really got done. He talking about, oh, well, the unemployment fell by 2%. That was actually rated false by PolitiFact. It was actually a fraction of a percent, meaning it really didn't change too much at all. He has a lot of big name connections like Oprah Winfrey, etc., but he was not able to really raise the value of Newark, New Jersey. That is that. As far as him being in the senator, I really don't know what he's done as a senator either. He's just kind of been there. And I think the senator position in New Jersey is no more than the vehicle to get him name recognition so he can become the president at a certain point in time. The Democrats want to have him out there alongside Kamala Harris to do one of two things. First, they want him to be like a lottery ticket. You understand? If you got a big drawing coming out, you can just buy one ticket or you can buy 1 million tickets. The more people you have in the race that are going to check off certain marks and kowtow to your bidding, the better. Kamala Harris, you have a racially ambiguous woman. Cory Booker, you have a racially ambiguous man. They both can claim to be black, and they both can claim to live or at one point lived in certain bad circumstances. Cory Booker himself grew up with a silver spoon. His parents were IBM executives. He lived in a basically all-white suburb in New Jersey, not far from New York, right on the Hudson River, basically. But when he became an adult, after playing football in college, he went to the projects in Newark and lived there for about 8 to 10 years. He didn't have to do that, obviously, because his parents, number one, have money. Number two, he, at a certain point, was the mayor. Then he became the senator. So why do you live in the project still? I'm sure you don't have to actually do that, but that's what he did. And Kamala Harris, she lived for part of her childhood in Oakland, California, but she had parents that had money. And when she turned 12, or maybe a little bit before then, she went to French Canada, Montreal, and grew up there, then went to Howard University in D.C., and then came back to Oakland later. Or San Francisco, same thing. They can claim to have some kind of hard-knock life and lived in these low-income areas, but that's not how they grew up. And I'll leave that right there for now. Cory Booker is no more than a checkmark candidate. You understand? He is racially ambiguous, and he may fill that Barack Obama mold. He's a tall guy. He's 6'4". I wouldn't call him handsome. He's a big kind of dude because he played football, like I said. He can't really speak that well, but the Democrats are going to work with him the best they can to get him out there and just say certain things that resonate with the audience he's going to be speaking to. He didn't have to be necessarily smooth if he is saying certain buzzwords and phrases that people want to hear. You know, equality, justice for all these kind of things. All right. Now, the elephant in the room with Cory Booker is his sexuality. He is 49 years old, unmarried, never been married, no kids. If he was to become the president, he would be the first unmarried president since Grover Cleveland in 1885. You're talking about over 130 years. Now, personally, it's not really a big deal to me that he's not married, never been married, doesn't have any kids. That's not really a gigantic deal to me. However, the problem is that there's been this whole big specter of him being gay, a lot of rumors about him being gay. And for a long time, he refused to actually answer the question if he was gay or not. Talking about well, if I was gay, why does it matter? You should vote for me on my merit, not because you assume that I'm straight or I'm gay. Silly stuff. If you ask me, ABL, are you gay? I'll say, no, I'm not. It's so simple. All you got to do is just say no, and that's it. If you want to be PC and say you're not gay, you can say, well, I'm not gay, but I don't have any hatred towards homosexuality or people that are gay or whatever the case may be. I love the LGBT community. You could say that rather than just saying, well, I don't want to answer that. Why does it matter? This, that, and the third. Now, he did finally come out and definitively say that he is heterosexual. I think it was last year, 2018, maybe in 2017, probably 2018. Either way it goes, it was very recently. What takes you so long to come out and say that you're straight after years and years of being questioned about your sexuality? To me, you kind of hiding something right there. Now, if he's gay, if that comes out, that's his business. I don't particularly care. But the problem is he's already starting on rocky grounds. You're already being deceptive, possibly, allegedly, maybe. I don't want anybody to come sue me for libel or slander or nothing like that. But if it's found out that he's gay and you're saying that you're not gay and then you were kind of just on the fence, not really trying to say one way or the other, it don't really look too good, you know? And you've been really vocal with this whole Me Too thing and all this kind of stuff. So if you come out later or if you're outed later, that's going to be a bad mark. Now, apparently he has a Instagram presence, and that's very important. I did a video about social media currency. That's extremely important. He is a foodie, apparently, as you can see on the screen before you. He was at some Pride Festival. I don't know if he was at the Pride Festival, but the caption was like, well, if the day couldn't get any better, right next to the Pride Festival is a vegan food festival, something like that, you know. But hey, he's not gay according to him. I'll just leave that right there. He's a foodie, apparently, and I don't really know much more about him, his personal life. I don't really know too much. I don't know what he does for a living outside of being a politician. I think he does do something else, but I don't really know what it is. All I know is that on record, there's nothing really of substance there. In Newark, it really didn't improve under Cory Booker. Some would say that he brought investments and stuff, but it didn't move the needle when you're talking about the murder rate and the unemployment rate. It just didn't do it. Yes, there may have been some buildings built, some investment into the city. Mark Zuckerberg gave them $100 million to the actual school system. It didn't do anything, as a writer famously wrote in an article, which I can find somewhere and put in the box. Everybody got paid, but Raheem still can't read. Okay, so Cory Booker, what are you really going to get from this guy? What has he accomplished in his life? He's become a politician career-wise. Yes, that's great. Hats off to him. He lived in the projects in Newark while he was in office for a while. Hey, if you want to live in the projects, you don't want to buy a house in a low-income area, build that up, and encourage others to do it. You want to live off government subsidized. And my thing is this. If you work for the government, if you are the mayor or you're on city council, how are you living in the projects? Well, how much money are you paying to live there? You understand what I'm saying? Because as far as I know, that's income restricted. When I was living in an apartment up until a couple of years ago, it was income restricted and there was no project. So if you're living in a project where it's subsidized by the city and or state or federal, then you have to be on an income restriction. Surely he made more than what the income restriction required you to make to get your reduced rent. So how much was he paying? He probably was paying as much as living in a regular apartment or a house, renting a house. What he could have done, rather than trying to virtue signal living in the projects, was buy a house in a low income area, build that up, and then have others do the same thing. But hey, you got to just pander to people. You got to just, you know what I mean, make your stock rise so you can make commercials talking about, I live with the people, I was man of the people, all this, that, and the third, when the reality is you are a virtue signaling politician who was born with a silver spoon in his mouth. So that is pretty much all I got to say. What say you? Do you think Cory Booker has a chance in 2020? How do you feel about him running with Kamala Harris? Would he be the vice president to her president? I think that might happen because they announced Kamala Harris first. And when I say they, you know who I'm talking about, the powers that be. They announced her first. They gave her a CNN town hall already before Cory Booker even was allowed to announce. In my opinion, he could have already announced because this is, you know, the most obvious move. I've been calling this for years now, since Trump was running, I said Cory Booker would run. So this ain't nothing new at all. He did a sit down with Oprah in 2012. So we're at 2019 now. This has been in the works for a long time. They could have wrote him out before Kamala Harris, but they didn't do that. Is it ladies first? Is it men are trash? Or do they just want to have Kamala Harris be the president pick and have Cory be the vice president? You know, that'll just fit right into the whole Me Too movement, because so long women have been in the back, they've been subservient. Now it's time for the roles to be reversed. And what better guy to do it than Cory Booker, who has had his sexuality questioned and who has not done a very good job of answering that to the people. I'll leave that right there for now, but whatever your comments are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.